Yeah, pardon for the leaf blower I hear. Going to be talking about a travel advisory for Russians that are here in the United States. We recommend, and this is especially to those who have a visa on a temporary due to return back to Russia in the future. I am recommending the government and the immigration officials to have a program that allows them to extend their visas towards indefinitely until Putin ends this war. This is because of Putin's right now military drafting and of some concerns about him extending the drafting towards civilians. And we are right now recommending the Russians currently in the United States under temporary visa basis to stay in the United States at least until the war concludes in Ukraine. This is not our country holding Russians hostage here in the United States. This is just a recommendation, an advisory that are being set out here. And again, if the Russians decide to go back to Russia right now, we're not going to stop you. But this is Vladimir Putin drafting and escalating an illegal war in Ukraine. I call the drafting, especially for trained officials, and I call it drafting towards the civilians illegal and a violation of the UN Charter. That no leader should force a civilian into a fight, into a war. The temporary visa extension program is designed to keep him out of reach of him being drafted to a war. And I have to say, we've been seeing pictures and a lot of news stories of hundreds of thousands of Russians fleeing the country to avoid persecution. And as a result, this is just right now a travel advisory for Russians currently on a temporary visa basis here, especially on a temporary visa basis here. And all other Russians, I'm encouraging you not to go to Russia at this point. Once again, and I have to say, once again, we will not stop Russian citizens going back to Russia. But it is, this is just, it's a discouragement, but not a ban, because of Russian citizens. And I have the last thing to say to Putin. It's time to stop the drafting of and it's really just time for him to stop the war. Putin needs to stop the war, withdraw all his troops, give back the annexed countries back to Ukraine, and bridge the differences on your Ukrainian neighbors. We understand that no relations is perfect. But you can't be, dictating how a neighbor runs by force. And we're sick and tired of Putin's garbage of us accusing us to dictate the world. And all that other accusations. I say to Putin, all I have to say, time to end this war. And bridge your differences to the Ukrainians. And I have to say once again to Russian citizens, you're not our enemy. We'll never hold you hostage in your country. In our country. And we will not stop you from going back to Russia. But this is just a recommendation to stay in the United States until Putin ends this war. That's what I have to say.